Yeah.
All right, we're here with Dan Greiner. Did I say that right? Greiner or
What's
Greener?
that?
Is it Greiner or Greener?
Greiner.
Greiner. Okay, good. I did
It's
say it
okay.
right.
I've been called
All
everything.
right, Dan Greiner, Business Owner Dad's Edition, Time for Success. This is Facebook Live, so you get to see behind the scenes, and we got to get going.
Can you turn this up?
Well, I can turn this.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That works. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Don't move.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, welcome. This is Matt Barbie with Time for Success, Business Owner Dad's Edition. And again, this is where we dig into what success means for us in all areas of life as business owner dads. And we've got Dan Greiner here with FullCircle Placements and Gigme. And tell me a little bit more about what you do again, Dan. What are those businesses?
Yeah. So the first business that I had started about 3 years ago now is FullCircle Placements, and FullCircle Placements is a full-service recruiting firm that basically specializes in the financial services industry. We do handle things outside the industry whenever we have a client who needs an HR person or an accountant or something like that, but a lot of the times we're working on operations roles for financial services companies. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. And then the Gigme?
Yeah, so Gigme is an app that I needed, and I was just like, I have to go after this. And basically, initially, what I wanted to create is an on-demand platform where I could post what I need done for my small business, and it would connect me with a college kid who could drop everything and come help me at the touch of a button. Because, initially, I own a recruiting firm, and I couldn't find a college kid just to come help me make an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm like, what? If I can't do it and I search for people on a daily basis, I'm sure this challenge is everywhere. And then at the same time, I had a couple of other things in my life that happened. Little things like my lawnmower broke, where it was like, I need a college kid. And then all of a sudden it was, I need a handyman, and, if you want to hire out a job like change a ceiling fan, a lot of contractors won't deal with it because it's such small margin and it's such a small job that they're like, I have a bathroom to remodel. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where, why can't people just post something and get help at the touch of a button? And so that's why I created Gigme, and ever since, I'm happy that I did. Actually, the other day, I was super sick, and I had somebody deliver me some Gatorade.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just really anything that you need done that's small enough for a college kid or a handyman to get done around the house. And it's been beneficial for me because I don't have time for a lot of the stuff around the house right now, and it's been beneficial for my business too, because sometimes I just need somebody for a day or maybe 2 days. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's huge. Probably for the listener audience, most of them are probably pulling up the app right now. Is it on Android and iPhone?
Yeah. So we launched April of this year, so April 2018. And then we were only on iOS because we kind of wanted to test it. Like, is this thing going to work? And that was expensive enough to build, right? So once we started to see repeat customers and everybody was happy and we were getting good reviews and things like that, we went ahead and built out the Android. And we've only been on Android since early October. So, a month. I think today, actually. Yeah.
Well, and I was actually just thinking about a client who was going through a busy period, and I'm slapping my head now, smacking myself in the face, because I should have told her to download Gigme. So now that's what I'm going to do as soon as we get off of here.
Yeah, no, it's great. We actually, we have everything right now we have a really strong IT guy who he wants to start a business in the future. Right now it's a side hustle for him.
Yeah.
But he's picked up 3 or 4 gigs off of Gigme, you
Nice.
know, just to start building that client base, things like
Yeah.
that. So I mean,
Yeah.
computer repair, college, it's becoming very broad, and we do need to bring it in. But for now, it's pretty fun to watch, you know, and just to see somebody posted, "Hey, can you watch my chickens while I'm out of town?" You know, so I mean, it's just like right now, it's crazy, but it's fun, and you know, I'm excited for the future of it because I think that's going to help a lot of people. So
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you said how things are kind of expanding and growing. I mean, because oftentimes we create things in business. We think that they're a good idea, but really the key to long-term success is actually watching how the market responds
Right.
and how they interact with it.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, my strategy, you know, from the get-go is basically, let's make this super broad. Let's see, and we're water, right? And
Right,
whatever
right.
the market
Like
determines
Bruce Lee.
that we are, yeah. Whatever the market says that we should be, we will
Right.
be. But
Right.
we need time to figure out. We need time and data and things like that to figure out what our niche is really going to be. And you know,
Yeah.
like maybe it's delivering balloons to children's birthday parties. I don't know.
Right.
But you know, that's just maybe that's what we become. We're that app to deliver balloons. You know,
Right,
and we
right.
don't know that yet, but. I knew that there was a need for people on demand, and
Yeah.
so I just had to create it, and it's been
Hey.
a journey. I've learned so much. So
Right.
that's probably the best thing about it so far. So
That's great. I mean, Uber is a very simple concept. People
Yeah.
needed a ride,
right,
right? And
Yeah.
so they needed to reach out to somebody very quickly, very easily with their phone.
Right.
Not necessarily making a call for a taxi service, and you know, who knows how close a taxi is,
Yeah.
depending on where you're at. And so I mean, you're just like, well, hey, I mean, people have other problems that they need to
For
resolve.
sure.
So,
yeah,
and as a business owner, you know, you get I don't have time for this. I'm willing to pay somebody else to do it. 'Cause,
Yeah. I mean, if you look at your time, and you know, if I'm spending my time on something that costs less than you know what I know I can make an hourly rate from a business standpoint,
Right.
it's smart to delegate that out, right? So.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of the stuff, it's nice to have a solution to find somebody at the touch of a button. So
Yeah, no kidding. So now with all that time that you have now, what?
yeah, no, now it would be great if I was just a customer. We're constantly going. We do so much work to make it simple for the customer. They don't
Right.
see the behind the scenes things that we deal with on a daily and weekly basis that are the headaches, right? And
Right.
it's like, I just want to deliver an unbelievable customer experience because
Right.
we're so new. And so the only way we're going to work is if, you know, one customer tells at least 2 people.
Right,
You know?
right.
And we can only do that if we deliver an awesome experience. So, you know, I'm texting people, making sure things are done, and I'm doing things that don't scale right now. And, you know,
Yeah.
I'm doing everything I can to, if the app crashes, we're handling things manually. I mean, it's crazy,
Right.
and it's a lot of work, and it's a grind, but it's fun, you know.
Yeah.
So it has taken up quite a bit of time, though.
So yeah, because you've got one, you know, the FullCircle Placements,
Yeah.
recruiting, and all that you're running. Plus, you're trying to build this up, which is still kind of new.
Right.
So, you know, it can be, especially as men. You know, I've talked about this before, but you know, we often have been taught by society that kind of our value is our business, our professions, and
Right.
whatever. And so you want to see it be successful. How do you make sure that you're also taking care of your family, that stuff is not falling to the wayside?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, family is number one,
Right.
no matter what.
Right.
You know, and you know, I love building the business, and I love grinding it out and things like that. But at the end of the day, like, I do it all for them.
Right.
So, you know, my wife stays at home. We have 3 little ones and under 8 years old, you know, so it's like we're super busy on that front too. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's tough to help out as much as I wish I could. But at the same time, you know, I'm hoping to build a better future for them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I mean, I definitely delegate time, you know, strictly like, hey, I'm turning off the phone, I'm hanging out with the kids.
That's
things like
great.
that.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's been great because we have 3 little ones, so I get to go do a lot of fun activities, you know.
Right.
But yeah, the goal is to give them the best opportunities possible. So
Sure. Now, is your wife also an entrepreneur? Is she a stay-at-home mom? Does she have a job somewhere else?
So
does she just do random things on Gigme?
Yeah, well, she did the chicken watching gig. So
she did. Okay.
Yeah, so my wife was a vet tech with the Humane Society of Missouri prior to staying at home, and you know, she has a small business. It's a pet sitting business.
Oh, great.
I'll plug it. Love for Paws Pet Care. But you know, she is not trying to expand it. Because I talked to her. I'm like, hey, you could hire some people. You could do all these.
Right.
People really like using her because she has that value add of being a vet tech that's registered, and she keeps up with her. You know, she gives shots to diabetic animals, things like that. Things that maybe a normal pet sitter might not be able to do. And so people enjoy having somebody that's knowledgeable, and they'll call her and ask her questions. Hey, my pet's sick. You know what I mean? So there's that value add there. But I think for her, it's, I just want to make some extra money to buy the kids clothes. You know, it's not I don't want to blow this thing up and go, and franchise or anything crazy. I think that she gets to a point where she has her client base, and that's about as big as she wants to get. So make a couple extra bucks, and then be able to spend time with the kids and go to their, school parties and things like that. That's her main focus. Right.
Especially now at this time in their lives.
Yeah. The other day she had like 2 parties to go to plus 3 dog walks. It's like amazing.
Yeah. And you can't always just bring the dogs to the party, right? That's not how the normal works. Yeah.
So she stays really, really busy as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So, what kind of things do you guys do for fun around here in St. Louis?
Yeah. So, we try to do something every weekend with the kids, but we start recycling. Things like that, and they're so young that it's not like we could go for bike rides through Forest Park or anything. They're so young that we always play it by ear and see what events are coming up and things like that. But we just try to do stuff that's fun with them.
Yeah.
My son plays soccer. My daughter does dance. And my other daughter's too young to do. Well, actually, she did start dance like last week. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we do those things, but then we also just try to see what's going on. And my biggest thing about being a dad is I love giving the kids new experiences to see if it's something that they enjoy or something that they don't like, and just being a part of watching them see something for the first time is very cool. And so I always look for things that are different that they may have never done before. But a lot of times it's the Magic House and Grant's Farm. So
right. Those are good de facto.
We're a member at Grant's Farm. So.
Yeah. We're members of Botanical Gardens.
Okay.
Yeah, my family really likes to go there. My eldest, she likes to take pictures and whatnot, and then
that's cool.
The 4-year-old, she just likes to smell flowers. So.
Everybody's got a hobby.
Right. So that's great. So you guys are Grant's Farm a lot. How do you manage on the weekends? Because I'm sure that even with Gigme, it's a 24/7 kind of thing. So how do you make that work?
Yeah. So sometimes it's stressful. Like a few weeks ago, for example, we went out on, I don't know what the name of it is, but it's this little train.
Okay.
It just goes like back and forth. It's really cool. It's a little train, but you can ride it. I can ride it.
All right.
The kids can ride it. I'll have to
that sounds like fun. Yeah, definitely.
And people listening, I'm sure they'll know what it is.
Right. The little train.
And I'm on the train and we're having fun. The kids are loving it, and I'm getting emails and issues are coming up, and that gets stressful, right? Because it's like I'm with them right now, and I can't. Sometimes it's like, what do I do? But for me, it's making sure I take some time, turn everything off, and if issues come up, I can deal with them a little bit later. But we're in startup stage too, so there's a lot of attention that's needed there. Luckily, a lot of this stuff I can do from my phone. But making sure just to put time aside just for them. Is key. So.
Do you have somebody that, it's still early stage, but you've got the IT guy, and you've got some other people that are kind of doing some work for you. Do you just kind of let them know, hey, for this time block, I'm not going to be available. I really need you to take care of these things. Or do you really have anybody that can do that yet in your business?
Yeah, for the app, I don't. I mean, I have a CTO and a CMO. We're so small; it's funny to like say that, right?
Well, but it's good.
But
you have vision.
Yeah, and so they help in those categories, and I'm operations basically right now. And so I can definitely send over some stuff like, hey, the app is crashing. What's going on? Right. And he can, Blake, he can help with those pieces. But a lot of the stuff, I mean, and it's small stuff. It's stuff that if it doesn't get fixed right now, I can make it right tomorrow. And so it works out.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So you've got family and you've got business. Like ultimately, and you said that you do your business kind of for the family. So what kind of looking at the family and how what kind of things that they seem to like they want to do, like your wife. I mean, a lot of people talk about travel and they'll travel the whole world. Like so, ultimately, when you kind of reach that highest level of success, what does that look like for you and your family?
Yeah, I mean, first success, like for me, is adding as much value to the world as I can.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, if there's any way to integrate my children down the road into the businesses and kind of set them up with careers, I don't want to just hand them everything. I'm not just going to say, here you go, welcome. They're going to have to work for it. But, for me, it's success is just providing them the best life possible. And let's say I do exit one day and life's gravy. I think, I don't know what that looks like because I can't even put myself there yet. I just, but I think that, being around the family a lot more, is probably going to be key in bringing the, if we can travel, great. If we can't, then great. Just spending time with them, I think is key. So.
Has your wife expressed like wanting like a pet adoption agency or let's like?
Yeah, so actually, she'd really like to have a farm. So we have chickens. We have a pig. But we don't have a farm.
Oh, I'm sure your HOA loves that.
Yeah, actually, the neighbors do. They love it. They come over. They feed the pig. The pigs eat anything, and they'll feed it, fruit or whatever.
Right.
They want to see the chickens, and they get free eggs. So we kind of have to buy them off. A little bit.
Right. Bribe them a little bit. Yeah, that's good.
Don't call the county. But I think that for her, if she could take some animals in, like for example, the pig we got was a mini pig, right?
Right.
It was a great idea at the time, and it's no longer a mini because there's no such thing as a mini pig, and we kind of knew that going in. Like she knew, like, hey, this thing isn't going to stay small forever, even though that they sell people on the, hey, have a mini pig, it's really cool, and pigs are very smart. Yeah. And so like if we had more space, there's so many people that they get a mini pig, they think it's cool. And then they're like, oh, I can't do this anymore. And then they just get rid of it. Yeah. So it's like if we could take on some animals and things like that, I think she would enjoy that a lot. So
that's great. Yeah, my wife has kind of expressed a similar desire to have like kind of a farm and just rescue animals.
Yeah. I mean, that was her thing. Is she never really wanted to work at a vet. She always wanted to work at a shelter.
Yeah.
And so she definitely cares about animals. A lot, and so I think that for her, if I could give her something like that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, be able to take and expand upon what she's doing now and give her that farm.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll build a driving range on one side.
Right.
That's where I'll be.
So, you got the kid. Your children. They're all under 8 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all kind of have some different interests and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
but you got some of the de facto places that you go. So you said you kind of want to be able to give them a good life. Now I've heard some people, they kind of plan for when the kids grow older, they want to they want to make sure that they work kind of outside the business so that they get some other experience, some other places, and then maybe kind of bring them back in when it's time. Kind of like what do you if you look to that crystal ball?
Yeah, I mean, for me, giving my kids opportunity isn't necessarily, hey, come work at my business. Maybe my daughter wants to be a ballerina, like a legit one in New
Yeah.
York or something, you know, and being
That
able
costs
to,
money.
yeah, exactly,
It does, yeah,
you know,
all
and
the
so
classes.
being able to give her the right resources and opportunities to achieve her goals,
Yeah.
that's what I'm really wanting to do. You know,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily like, hey, I'd really like you to be a part of what I'm doing, and if they want to, yeah, that's a bonus for me, but that might not be in their bet. You know,
Right.
that might not be the
Right.
thing that they're most interested in, and so whatever it is, you know, live out their dreams. I think that's important.
I really like what you said there because, you know, sometimes we build a business and that's another baby, right? And then
Right.
we think, well, naturally the kids are going to want to take it over. But I've talked with a lot of folks where it's like the person that they thought was going to take over because,
Yeah.
you know, they seem like they have the best friend. It just doesn't work out.
Right.
But if you kind of shift that focus a little bit and just try to really take the time to understand what the kids like. And
Yeah.
I like what you also said that you give them different opportunities to see what they like rather than, you know, trying to live vicariously through them. Like if you're
Right.
a big soccer player.
Yeah. I mean, I play competitive golf still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, I brought my daughter out to a golf course and she picked up some feathers and, you know,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, hey, here's a feather. I'm like, don't touch that, please.
Right. Do some sanitizer. But
Yeah. So, you know, it's just giving them the right opportunities to do things that they love and, you know, and try to guide them on the right path because
Right.
even if you look at businesses, you know, when you have a second generation owner or a third generation owner, the failure rates actually go through the roof once
Right.
you get, you know, I mean, when you pass a business down, you're more likely to the children who take it over are more likely to fail.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, at least in research.
Yeah.
It's like that right now.
Right. What you know, what website? Did you see that on Facebook?
But I mean, I read a lot about it just because I always had the
true,
thought,
though.
right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, they typically don't necessarily have the same passion for it as you did.
Right.
And a lot of them kind of see it. I mean, if they have seen you kind of struggle throughout the years, and it's not quite, you know, not quite providing that wonderful lifestyle that we want, then they kind of get a little bit opposed to it sometimes too,
Right.
because they just don't understand what you were trying to build long term, and so
Right.
it just looks like a lot of work, and
Yeah.
you know, a lot of kids don't like a lot of work early on in life.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, the goal for me is to show them what I do and
Yeah.
see if they like it.
Yeah.
And if they do, great. If they're like, no, I want to be a ballerina.
Right.
Okay, well, let's put a plan in place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, again, I love that because it's meeting them where they're at, and sometimes we forget about that. Our priorities for our business. I mean, you know, my 13-year-old right now, she has no desire for, you know, starting a business or anything like
Right.
that. You know, she was talking about wanting to do more babysitting. I'm like, oh well, you know, maybe we could put some ads out here. She's like, no. I'm like, oh, all right, well then, I don't.
Well, yeah, I did the same thing with my daughter. So we get a lot of eggs. We probably get between 5 and 10 eggs a day.
Right.
At home, and so I was like, "You have a whole new niche right here. Instead of
Right.
a lemonade stand, I'll build you this
An egg stand,
right? You
right.
know, and everybody on the block can come buy eggs from you." And she's like, "No, I'll just like walk them over and give them to them for free." All right.
Well, you know, a really very philanthropic
Yeah,
spirit
yeah,
she's got there.
yeah.
That's not a bad thing. So we've got a few minutes left. I mean, we kind of hit upon some things, but you know, I always like to give our listeners some additional resources to make their lives better, so that they can spend their time and their money more wisely to be able to take care of their family. And you've got kind of two businesses. We've talked about Gigme. You were an entrepreneur and you realized you needed something like Gigme. And then you've got FullCircle Placements, which these days recruiting is one of the most painful processes that businesses are going through right now. So, I mean, just as an entrepreneur to an entrepreneur, you know, kind of like how can they leverage these things maybe in their life to make their lives a little bit easier to focus on family and all the other things that are important?
Yeah, I mean, recruiting is not necessarily easy, but it's not necessarily hard because, you know, the skill set, and maybe it's because I've done it so long, is, I could teach anybody the skill set. In my opinion, I could teach a lot of people the skill set.
Right.
But the problem is that if you're running a business or you're running a team or whatever it is, finding time to recruit good people. I mean, you can always throw out a job posting, but finding time to recruit good talent and bring them on, talent that's going to help you build your business, things like that. Yeah. It takes time, and that time rarely does somebody have. And so because they're trying to focus on things that they're good at, and so that's where my value add comes in. It's kind of like, I can save you a lot of time, and I can help you with this. Do you need me? Well, if you have a lot of time, you probably don't need me. But if you need somebody tomorrow that's really good, I can stop everything. I can find you that person. And so that's the value there. And then with Gigme, obviously, there's a lot of value in helping find people.
Yeah, when you need random Gatorade.
Right. I know. I was pretty sick. Yeah. No, I was actually surprised somebody picked it up.
That was a pretty sick solution for when you were sick.
Yeah, that was the most expensive Gatorade I ever bought.
Right.
But I would have paid even more.
Right. Just so you did not have to go to the store.
Right, exactly.
And then, potentially cause an epidemic, because then you got other
people
in the store and so
greatest amount of good for the greatest amount of people.
Yeah, and you want to add more value to the world.
Exactly.
So there you go, right there. So
all day long.
Awesome. Well, again, this is Dan Greiner here with FullCircle Placements and Gigme. And FullCircle Placements recruiting. Gigme is a great app for if you need anything. You can get a college student or anybody. And so this is Matt Barbie with Time for Success, Business Owner Dad's Edition. Thank you for joining us.
Cool.
All right, and thank you for joining us on Facebook Live.